Jimin's confession after Jungkook's decision causes a stir. Fans are speechless. Loudly crying face fire. The shocking news again came from two figures who have been the center of attention of the army around the world, Jimin and Jungkook. After weeks of issues, speculation, and long silence from the two, finally a big moment exploded in the K-pop world. It all started with an unexpected decision made by Jungkook, a decision that not only shook the media but also made HYB's staff nervous. But what made the world even more uproar was the moment when Jimin finally opened his voice, revealing a confession so emotional that millions of fans couldn't hold their breath when they heard it. This story is not just a rumor or a small misunderstanding. It's a sequence of events that develop slowly, forming an emotional pressure that slowly but surely makes everyone who follows the journey of the two feel like they are witnessing a real drama in front of their eyes. And when Jimin finally told the truth about how he felt, everything changed. Fans were silent. The army is crying. The world seemed to stop moving for a moment. Behind the confession is hidden a long story that began long before the big moment happened. The day was like a normal day at the military headquarters where the two were on duty. But the atmosphere that looks calm from the outside turns out to have a different atmosphere inside. Jungkook had been agitated since morning, though he tried to hide it behind his flat face. The military staff who were in charge of accompanying Idol noticed the small change, but no one was close enough or dared to ask him directly. Jungkook remains a disciplined, strong figure and rarely shows feelings except to people he truly trusts. But Jimin was the first to realize something wasn't right since the night before. They were sitting in the break room, discussing tomorrow's training schedule, when Jungkook suddenly fell silent. Not the usual silence. Silent as if harboring something heavy. Jimin tried to break the ice, starting a light conversation as usual. But Jungkook's response was late. His voice was quiet, and his eyes seemed to be looking elsewhere, a place no one but himself could reach. Jimin did not insist. Not because he didn't care, but because he knew Jungkook needed his own time. The relationship between the two has gone through so many ups and downs that Jimin learns to understand Jungkook's patterns, to understand his body language, to understand the meaning of every little gesture that the other person is not aware of. They already know each other much more deeply than just group mates or best friends. There is something more complicated, more emotional, and deeper than that. When the next day came, the big decision was announced. Jungkook chose to take on additional tasks that were very heavy and full of risks. An assignment that left many of his own seniors dumbfounded. The task is usually only given to soldiers who have served for a long time, not to idols with tight schedules and big public spotlight. Even some of the top military officials questioned it, but the decision was approved because Jungkook asked for it directly, and he asked for it with full confidence. The news quickly spread among HYB staff. They panic, get hit, but can't do anything about it. The decision, according to the military system, was legitimate and did not violate the rules. But the emotional effect is huge, especially for someone who has always been by Jungkook's side in every difficult situation. Jimin. When the news reached Jimin's ears, he did not react immediately. Not surprised, not angry, not crying. He just shut up. A very long silence. A painful silence for anyone who sees it. Jimin knows Jungkook. He knows Jungkook's reasons for doing something are never as simple as they seem. Not impulsive, not stubborn. Jungkook always has a deep reason, and usually, that reason is not far from the people he cares about. Jimin felt that Jungkook was hiding something from him. Something big. That night, after the entire training is over, Jimin goes looking for Jungkook. He found her alone in the backfield area, sitting on the ground staring at the dark night sky. There are no stars, no light. Only the silhouette of Jungkook's body was highlighted by small lights from a distance. Jimin slowly approached silently. Didn't want to surprise her. Not wanting to disturb, but also not wanting to leave without knowing what was really going on inside Jungkook's heart. "Hey," Jimin said softly. Jungkook didn't look up. Only his shoulders moved slightly, as if he knew immediately who was coming. "Not sleeping?" asked Jimin. "I can't," Jungkook replied. It wasn't the voice he usually used. There was a small tremor. There's a load. Something is stored for too long until its weight is almost clearly audible. Jimin sat next to him, not too close. Far enough away not to put pressure on Jungkook, but close enough to reach out if Jungkook needs someone to lean on. They say you've already taken on that extra task, Jimin said slowly. Are you sure? Jungkook took a short breath. Yes. Why? Asked Jimin. Did you do it to prove something? Jungkook shook his head. Then for what? Quiet. A long silence that almost broke the heart of anyone who heard it. And slowly, Jungkook opened his voice. I want you to be proud of me. Simple words. But not ordinary words. Those words came from the deepest place in Jungkook's heart. Words that turned out to be the key to the whole controversial decision. Jimin froze. His chest felt tight. Never did he imagine that the reason Jungkook took on such a dangerous task was him. Why do you think I'm not proud of you? Jimin's voice trembled. Because you always protected me, Jungkook replied. And I want to be able to protect you back. For the first time since the beginning of the conversation, Jungkook turned his head. His eyes were glazed. His pupils trembled, holding back something that had long wanted to get out. I want you to see me not just as someone you always take care of, Jungkook continued, but as someone who can also take care of you if one day you need to. And at that moment, the last bastion in Jimin collapsed. The next day, Jimin's confession that shocked the world took place. It all started when an internal military interview supposedly just for documentation was unexpectedly released to the public. The interview featured Jimin being asked about Jungkook's decision. No one expected that Jimin would say something so personal, so honest, and so emotional that the whole world fell silent. When asked how he felt about Jungkook's decision, Jimin took a deep breath. His face seemed to hold back emotions. Everyone thought he would give a safe answer that idol used to keep the image. But no, Jimin actually said, I'm scared. It's not because Jungkook took on such a heavy task, but because I know he did it for me. And that makes me feel mixed up. I'm proud, very proud, but also, I don't want Jungkook to feel like he has to prove anything to get my confession. He paused for a moment, holding back a voice that was almost breaking. I want Jungkook to know that I've been proud of him for a long time, even before he tried to do something big like this. And this is the sentence that makes the world completely paralyzed. I love Jungkook. In a way that I will probably never be able to explain in words. Shock staff. The interviewer froze. The audio engineer who recorded immediately shed tears, and when the video of the interview was accidentally leaked to the media, the whole world stopped moving. The army is crying. International media flocked to write a long analysis. Hashtags about both instantly dominated global trending for several hours without a break. HYB held an emergency meeting all night, and in the midst of all that chaos, Jungkook sees Jimin's confession for the first time. He was silent for a very long time, until finally, for the first time since the confession went viral, Jungkook issued a single sentence that made everything even more electrifying. I also have something I want to say, but I'll talk after I get back from that assignment. That sentence alone has set the world on fire with new speculation. That was the big moment that has now shocked the K-pop world. The moment when Jimin's confession after Jungkook's reckless decision left everyone speechless. An emotional story that has just begun, one that seems to be taking both of them to a new chapter that is deeper, more honest, and perhaps more surprising than anyone could have imagined. If Jungkook really talks after his job is done, the world should be prepared, because whatever he has hidden so far will probably be the biggest confession in the history of their journey together.